this is Wiggum from Reddit Omega bringing you a recap of war number 207. So we were paired against a random Chinese clan level 8, and as you can see from the statistics, we were a lot better at 3-starring than they were. And even though this war is not quite over yet, time-wise, for all intents and purposes, it is over. So in looking at the map, you can see that we didn't execute as cleanly on the Town Hall 9s as we have in previous wars. Although the Town Hall 10s were 2-starred on the first attack, which was always nice, allowing us more time for 3-star attempts. And the remaining stars on the Town Hall 9s is just a lack of execution, and I put that on myself as well. I did not have a 3-star attack this war. Anyway, I am going to show you several 3-star attacks this war. I'm going to show you a 6. So I'm going to start with ApexSouthpaw and his cleanup on number 4. Now I actually attacked number 4 and only 1-starred it. So I was very thankful that Apex came along and showed me how to better approach the base. So he's going with a stoned Goho, and you'll notice he's got an archer, he's got a healer and 2 archers because we determined that there was a hound in the CC, so he's going to use the healer archer trick. If you've never seen that before, just throw 2 healers on a building or through 2 archers on a building with 1 healer, and the hound will never kill the archers. Now he's going to go ahead and start with his stoned Goho on the southeast side. This was the same attack I attacked from, but Apex is wisely using 4 earthquakes to just perfectly clear into the archer queen and that compartment. He goes ahead and drops poison on the archer queen just to slow down her attacks. And the Barbarian King is going to kill her very quickly and also take out quite a few buildings and a couple of single giant bombs. And then all that done, he's going to start his hogging. If you just look at the shape of the base, you'll see that it sets up very nicely for a hog attack right now. You know, he's going to start on this side, work his way around the base in a clockwise fashion. Very straightforward shaping. So his Archer Queen's still at full health. She's doing work on that core, taking out a couple of defenses while the Golemites are still tanking. So because he had 4 earthquakes, he's only got 2 heals, but frankly that's all he needs. Goes ahead and pops the AQ ability just to get her to take a little less damage and take out more defenses. And you'll note with 4 point defenses left and something like 14 hogs remaining, it's going to be a very straightforward cleanup. His Archer Queen dies at the end. That's unfortunate, but she's not really needed. As you can see, he's got wizards and goblins pathing around the base, converging on each other. And what is a very nice touch, you'll notice that these buildings go down before the hound even has a chance to spawn, so it's kind of a complete non-factor. So you trade 16 supply for 30 supply, and then go ahead and wreck the base behind it. So very strong attack, showing exactly how this base should be approached. Next attack is Sivlad attacking their number 5. Now you'll note this is a La Lune attack. So Sivlad is using 2 golems and 3 hounds, so they usually add up to 5. He goes ahead and drops all of his wizards to create a funnel down south. And just look where he places this jump. This jump is going to be perfectly placed and very well timed to funnel his heroes directly into that Archer Queen and into 3 compartments so he can get maximum value and take down as many point defenses as possible, which is going to help his Loon pathing and also going to help his Loon survivability, because if you take down, say, an air defense and an X-bow, that certainly improves their chances. So his Barbarian King does die here, but that's okay. He's got the CC down, the AQ down, and he starts his La Lune. So 2 hounds on the first air defense, 1 on the second air defense. And you'll note that his loons are deployed in a kind of a semicircle fashion. So they channel very well into the air defenses on those first 2. So he uses rages to get them into the 3 air defenses really at the same time. And then you'll note this Tesla bank in the middle really thins out his loons. The hound is not tanking there, so he instead focuses on his arriving loons, and that's a very wise decision. Sometimes people try to rage those 4 or 5 loons in the core because you need those core buildings down, but oftentimes it's better to just let them take one for the team and focus on the cleanup troops that you need. Now, he was a little fortuitous there. A mine took out his last hound, so that creates more pups, which helps with cleanup. But even if that hadn't have happened, he still would have won very easily. Both heroes are down. He still has a wizard left. He has plenty of loons, plenty of pups, and cleanup is a breeze. Okay, next is Titospot attacking their number 11. This was also a fresh attack. You can see this is a shattered Goho with a couple of loons. And the way Tito uses these loons is really, really smart. Watch how he uses his loons. One on the cannon, one on the archer tower. Just one. That's all you need. The archer tower is busy hitting that golem, and so these loons are pretty much unchecked. They're going to take out those 2-point defenses, and that's going to increase his kill squad survivability and his pathing. And then look at that jump. Now that is an 8-tile jump, which is one of the hardest things to do in this game, to land an 8-tile jump appropriately. And it gives his kill squad access to everything. He goes ahead and drops a rage there. Helps his archer queen take out that opposing archer queen quickly. And now he started his hogging. You'll notice his golems are tanking for his hogs on that top side. That's always nice to see. And then his heal placement is great. So one heal there gets a single giant bomb, gets another couple of hogs from the side just to shape them all together to get them to stay in one cohesive group instead of splitting. Now there's another giant bomb, so he goes and drops another heal early. That's the correct decision here. It's better to heal it and keep those hogs alive than bank on not needing it, than banking on needing it later and not having any hogs to heal. And then the third heal could have been placed a little bit further so that the hogs stayed under heal a little bit longer, but very solid nonetheless. It takes out those last 2-point defenses, taking out those skeletons. You'll note cleanup is already in a very good shape. Remember, all your cleanup troops down before the hogs take out that last point defense. Now the Barbarian King is going to come over here and kill a couple of the wizards, and that's going to slow things down a bit. But this Barbarian King cannot keep all these hogs in check. So the cleanup could have been a little bit smoother, but for a fresh attack, this is quite solid. And he had about 20 seconds left on the clock, so not really major concerns with the timing. So great attack. Very, very instructive use of loons on the front side and very instructive use of that 8-tile jump. So Titospot had a 6-star war. Also with a 6-star war is Opotamus. Now Opotamus, or Copa as we call him for short, is a cleanup specialist. There is no one better, except maybe T, at cleaning up Town Hall 9 bases. And anytime you have an attack that doesn't quite work and you're not sure why, it's usually possible to just wait for Copa to come and clean it up, and then you will learn what you should have done differently, much like what ApexSouthpaw did earlier with my attack. So he's doing a Shattered Goho. He's cut 1 wall breaker, 2 wizards to free up room for 2 giants. You don't need 3 wall breakers on skull walls, you only need 2, so he's going for a very efficient build. However, he's not given himself much of a margin for error, so he goes ahead and lures, has a second hog to lure. Then he's going to poison this CC, but you'll note that the poison misses the shadow of this backside loon, so the poison doesn't take out that loon. It's where the shadow is placed to know whether it's in the effect or not. And even though it hovers into the effect, it wasn't in at the beginning. So he's going to go ahead and drop his 2 golems in a tight funnel. He dropped 2 wall breakers. Now one of them died to a wizard or to a mortar hit, but his queen is going to be able to, his golems and his queen are going to be able to take out this wall. There's queen does, and now that funnels his king where he's supposed to go. Jump is placed to bring the golems back into the fray and also path that king right into the archer queen. And now he's going to start his hogging. So he goes ahead and drops his heal on a cluster of defenses. There's no giant bomb there, but there is a strong cluster of defenses. And now he drops a giant down south. That giant's supposed to tank, particularly that wizard tower. Anytime you can get a giant to tank a wizard tower it's usually very, very helpful to do that because the wizard tower does fairly decent AoE against hogs, but does nothing against giants. And you'll note he's really grouped his heals up, but that's okay because that's where the concentrations of point defenses are. That remaining cannon and archer tower are really not a factor. There are no skeletons beating on his hogs. There's no barbarian king beating on his hogs. His point defenses go down, and he has both heroes alive. And wizards are cleaning up everything. It's an extremely quick cleanup from the time his hogs finish those point defenses. So a couple of little unexpected things with the lure and with the wall breaking, but adapts and converts beautifully from that position. Next attack I want to show you is DTT attacking their number 19. DTT had a 6-star war, and he had 2 fresh 3-star attacks using a similar composition and a Laloon composition that works very well against low Town Hall 9s. So let's see how he does it. He's not going to wall break, and he's not even going to jump his way in. He's going to earthquake his way in, and it's a perfect earthquake placement. Even breaks that corner post on the core. So he's got his lure going. His Barbarian King's a little late to allow the CC to aggro onto his golems. That's always helpful. Now his Barbarian King is going to redirect to that lowly Archer Queen and take her out very quickly. You see he dies in the process, but that's okay. He's gone ahead and gotten 1 air defense down, and his queen is actually, if she were level 15, she would get this last air defense. You'll see or the second air defense. You'll see what I'm talking about. But it's close, but not quite. Like 1 more shot would have done it. But it doesn't matter. He is going to go ahead and start his Laloon, and he adapts his plan accordingly. So he goes ahead and hastes to get his loons into that air defense as quickly as possible. It turns out not to matter because his hound actually takes down the air defense. That's pretty rare. Now he's being patient, and he deploys the second hound to start tanking pretty much right when the first hound pops. And you see that he is proceeding in a clockwise fashion. Now that he did lose 1 loon because of that late deployment of his hound, but that's okay. You'll see that he only has 1 pup right now, and he's actually going to successfully take out all the point defenses before his remaining 2 hounds die. So he has 2 hounds alive right now. Now that's suboptimal for cleanup, as we covered many times, and that's the only reason why this was close from a timing perspective. Had one of those hounds popped, he would have finished 15 seconds faster, and if both hounds popped, it would have been 20-25 seconds faster. But he gets a good loon split, and it's a solid 3. Okay, the last attack I want to show is GrrnMan attacking number 17. GrrnMan had a 6-star war as well, so we had 4 players with a 6-star war, and I've managed to feature all of them tonight. So he's doing a cold-blooded go-ho, and look how he drops just 1 hog to take down this archer tower. This hog is completely unopposed, nothing's hitting it, so why not? Times those wall breakers really well. And now he's going to go ahead and drop a couple of Valks to come in. The Valks really aren't necessary, particularly when they're level 2. They can't do very much, and particularly when they run into a CC like that, but that's okay. He's gone ahead and started his hogging, and watch his heal placement. So potential giant bomb spot there. Heals it. Springs hurt a bit, but that's okay. Also heals the wizard tower. Second heal placement, exactly where you'd want it to be. Watch how he trips this. There's 1 giant bomb tripped. Hogs healed almost back to full. Then the second giant bomb spawns, and then they're healed back up to 3/4. So really good heal timing there. And now third heal placement, exactly where you would expect it. He heals through 4 giant bombs, including a double giant bomb, and including a bunch of skeletons and a barbarian king, and his hogs live through all of that because of really, really good heal placement and timing. Now, he could have had a little bit better cleanup. You see he probably took too many wall breakers, could have taken more wizards, but it's a complete non-factor because everything's converging in the same direction, even though his Archer Queen is doing what she does best and hitting walls. Takes out that last corner hut and 3 stars. It's very rare to have your hogs path through all 4 giant bombs and skeletons and a Barbarian King and to live through it. It shows, like I said, really, really good heal placement and timing to make that happen. So solid war effort overall. Hope you enjoyed the attacks and learned something from them. And tune in for war number 208, which we'll be queuing up for in about 19 minutes and 53 seconds.